is and how it could potentially lead to burnout. This is actually a presentation that we had done in the past, and I just thought, hey, it's not a bad idea to revisit it. I kind of started picking up on some, just general thoughts around how this week has been going, not only for me personally, but I've been talking to other people. And, I felt like it's not a bad idea to revisit the idea of managing stress and burnout, because there's a lot of factors that can come into our weeks that we can barely anticipate or expect, and some that can lead to potential stressful situations and even burnout. So would like to share this presentation with you guys. And again, for some of you. So this is Sally. She's actually a model employee who has been working at homeowners insurance for many years with excellent results. It's Monday morning. Sally's already longing for the weekend. For the past few months, she's been feeling out of sorts at work, not quite sure why, always tired. She feels a little disengaged, unmotivated most days, and constantly checking how long it is until she can go home. Sally is also having negative thoughts about people, snapping at colleagues. She feels there's never enough time to get everything done. This leaves her feeling perpetually behind and demoralized. It sounds like Sally is experiencing burnout. So burnout mainly strikes people who are highly committed to their work. You can only burn out if you've been on fire for your work in the first place, which is a great thing that you care so much that you potentially are willing to be burned out because of it. However, burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion caused by long-term involvement in emotionally demanding situations. It can occur when you experience long-term stress in your job, or when you have worked in a physically or emotionally draining role, or really a lot of different factors. It could be in your personal life. It could be, and it doesn't have to be only at work too. There's other factors that can definitely contribute to burnout. Outside factors can be accelerants too. So people are always going through more than what you can see on the surface or what they choose to share with you. And the stressors are not just work related. It can be cyclical. Stress from work enters your personal life starts to have issues as a result, and those personal issues can cause you to have extra stress during your workday. And it goes on and on and on. As you can see from the diagram here, it can be a little crazy. So what does burnout look like? There's some signs and symptoms of burnout. Having a negative or critical attitude at work, dreading going into work and wanting to leave once you're there, which none of us have ever done, right, guys? Having low energy and little interest at work, having trouble sleeping, being absent from work frequently, experiencing physical complaints such as headaches, illness, or backache, and being easily irritated by others. And also have thoughts that your work doesn't have meaning or make a difference, feeling that your work and contribution goes unrecognized, blaming others for your mistakes, thoughts of quitting or work or changing roles, going through the motions instead of being truly engaged, feeling overwhelmed by your responsibilities. So part of that, it's important to also realize that burnout is not always something that's permanent, right? It's temporary. And we can work on ways to improve the burnout feeling by recovery. So there's going to be a few examples of recovering from burnout we're going to share next year. So we're going to go over some tactics to counteract burnout. You may look at some of these and think, been there, done that, hasn't really always worked for me. But my hope is that you take at least one useful thing away from our discussion that helps you. Finding balance at work and in personal life is an ongoing challenge that we all do face. It's useful to take time to reflect on different ways to manage stress and reverse any feelings of burnout. It's like I look at it like, when you've been doing something so long, like let's just say marriage, for example, if you don't work at it, it's always going to be a struggle. So you have to work on your marriage and work at your marriage in order to make it successful. So it's the same kind of thing with burnout. You got to work at it to keep it away. If it does feel like it's coming up, find a way to approach it to kind of divert it and not let it be a problem. So how do you manage feelings of stress or overwhelm in your role? So there's some examples I found online that were like, take days off for self-care, meditation, find small successes, and get a good night's rest, practice gratitude. There could always be something worse. Find something in your personal life to offload, grocery delivery, laundry. I like to vacuum. I don't know if anyone knows that. I've probably told you a few times, but that's my de-stressor. So I'll go vacuum all day if I have the choice to. Yeah, everyone has their thing, right? So, and obviously, like, if you pray, prayer is always a good one for me too. It's almost like vacuuming, but not quite. So, one tactic is the 5 whys. So Sakichi Toyota, the fun name, the Japanese industrialist, inventor, and founder of Toyota Industries, developed the 5 whys technique in the 1930s. It was originally used to get to the root cause of mechanical issues in their factories. The technique became popular in the 1970s, and Toyota Industries still uses it to solve problems today. The method is simple. When a problem occurs, you drill down to its root cause by asking why 5 times. Then, when a countermeasure becomes apparent, you follow it through to prevent the issue from occurring. Kind of cool. So the first thing we can do is define the problem. And one of those, I'm experiencing feelings of burnout at work, for instance. Let's kind of use the 5 whys method to break it down and get to the root cause. Why 1? Why am I experiencing feelings of burnout at work? Because my job causes me to miss out on time with my family. And these are just examples, by the way. It's not like this is actually an Integrity Capital specific example, by the way. Or it's not how I feel either. It's just a good example to share as a broad one. This makes me feel resentful and causes conflicts in my personal life. Now you go to why 2. Why am I missing out on time with my family in the evenings? Because I'm answering work emails until 11 p.m. almost every night. That makes sense. Then you go to the why 3. Why am I answering work emails until 11 p.m. almost every night? Because I receive a high volume of emails that require my response. Makes sense. And now why 4? Why do I receive such a high volume of emails that require my response? Because I'm the main point of contact for all decisions that need to be made about X, Y, and Z. And us loan associates, we can kind of sometimes have this issue where we're the only ones that can really answer to a client, or we're trying to get a deal done, and we'll get stuck in these late night emails because we want to get the deal progressing or forward, right? Or get it signed. So we'll do whatever we have to do to get there. But why am I the main point of contact for all decisions about X, Y, and Z? Team members feel like they need my approval before they make decisions. Proper audience for these emails often doesn't reply in a timely manner. So, some of these examples do correlate with what we have here, where if you're waiting on third parties, a title company, or really anyone to help move things forward, and they're not being as responsive, then you can just do it yourself and bypass it to make it move. So those are the 5 whys, guys. And now we're going to move on to the next tactic. The root. That's a stress diary. So a stress diary can be really helpful, because what you can basically do is you discover underlying causes of the burnout. Going through the process of logging anxious moments allows you to pinpoint the cause of stress in your life. Often these stresses kind of go in and out of our minds without getting the attention and focus that they deserve. Each day, write down the main events that caused you stress, and write down or reflect on how you reacted to each stressful event. How well did you cope with it? Was the preceding event before the stressor? Or maybe you have an important meeting coming up with an upset, client, or whatever it is. But, you just have to find a way to find a pattern. Are there any patterns that come with that client? Or how can you prepare, and how are you going to cope with it moving forward, so it doesn't impact you for the rest of the day, the week, or even the month? And also, another really good example is just a personal mission statement. Burnout can occur when your work is out of alignment with your values, or when it's not contributing to your long-term goals. You also experience frustration and burnout if you have no idea what your goals are. So one thing that I always I challenged us last time we did this presentation, and it was to build your personal mission statement. Write a personal mission statement about your purpose. What does you ultimately want to achieve in your life or your career? And it could honestly be anything. Personal mission statement shows you what to say no to. It aims at the target and saves time and energy for what matters the most. It also aligns your every moment toward reaching your goals. So one thing that, when we were at the last office, and this is something I should have brought here, was I always kept my personal mission statement in front of me at all times, and I just looked at it so that anytime I was ever doubting myself or what I was doing, I would look right at that mission statement in front of me and say, this is why. This is my why. So look at the personal mission statement as your why. Like, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why are we impacting so many people's lives in our work? And have that deeper connection to the meaning of it. And then take a cruise to the Bahamas while you're at it.
Piece of cake.
Yeah. So it's just an example. Thought I'd put it together for you guys, to use XYZ skills to have a positive outcome for a group of people with details. Use my creative talents, teach high schoolers about the ways that art can uplift their spirit and change their perspective. I don't know, something that is along those lines, and it could be related to our work. It could be, and related to a task you have at home, or maybe building the best garden you've ever seen, Michelle. And I don't know. So it could be a lot of different things. To be kind to others and myself, create the best version of tomorrow, to be happy, healthy, and not do harm, never stop learning, use my talents to invest in my community. It could really be a lot of different things. And then we got tactic 4, practice positive thinking. Try to think of 3 good things every day. Gratitude, accountability partners, affirmations. Some affirmations include, by being myself, I bring happiness to other people. I'm resilient and can handle problems with expertise. I'm calm and relaxed in all situations. Through my contributions, I make a positive changes in the world. Today, I'm going to trust myself and my instincts. So you really just reinforce that you believe in yourself, and also you're not worried about, if you do something wrong, it's okay. There's always a way to overcome and learn from it. There's also a great app called Insight Timer that I like using for just like little meditations whenever needed. I used to actually struggle to fall asleep at night because I was always like, my mind was always going a million miles an hour. So I play Insight Timer. They had like sleep app stuff that actually just knocked me right out. So highly recommend it if you haven't tried it. And you also can prioritize the basics. One thing that I've always done is exercise, drink a lot of water, get enough sleep, eat healthy foods, set aside time to unplug from work, spend time with loved ones, find a healthy venting partner. It's not, sometimes people like to vent and that makes them feel better. Find what makes you happy. Drink a lot of water. It definitely helps nourish your body, and eat the right foods, not a bunch of sugar and junk foods. Mm-hmm. So here's our final review, guys. The tactics of the 5 whys. Get to the deeper meaning, the root cause of why that's an issue and why it's a problem. Stress diary. Write it down. It's okay to write down what you feel or how you feel. Personal mission statement. Your why. What is your purpose? Why are you doing this? Why is it worth it to you? And why do you want to keep doing it? Practice positive thinking. Affirmations. Feel good. Talk to other people that make you feel good. Just think positively. You can do it. Prioritize the basics. Drink water. Exercise. Let those endorphins out. And that's it. That's it for the burnout presentation. I didn't really make it as interactive this time, but I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And I can send you the presentation too. One thing we adopted from last time was we started doing the quarterly burnout test. I think that's been really good just to kind of revisit it. So thank you, Michelle, for sending that out and staying on top of it, because it's always good to remind ourselves, because burnout can be sneaky. It can come up without us realizing it, and then it just kind of hits. So it's always a good thing to kind of keep it top of mind. And when it does approach, we need to know how to, react to it to not let it be so impactful in a bad way.